And welcome back, Frisbee family. You are tuned into another episode of Morning Round with Greggy Biscuits. I'm Greggy Biscuits here in the virtual studios. I'm in Stockton. Our guest is calling from the great state of Alabama. We are very, very pleased to have the one and only 2023 MVP Open champion and much, much more. Roll Tide. We've got Matt Orum in the freaking studio. What up, Matty?
What up, Greg? How y'all doing?
Good to have you, dude.
Happy New Year. Roll Tide. Everybody out there.
How are your temps doing right now? Where are you at? Where are you sitting on the old
Temperature gauge
from
in
the
the
Yep.
we hit that Arctic. I think it hit everybody except for probably South Florida, but I was in my electric blanket, couldn't even leave my bed for I think it was Tuesday and Wednesday of this
Mm-hmm.
week because it was so freaking cold and my trailer ain't the most well insulated thing, so I literally just stayed on the blanket, couldn't even leave it. So it's pretty cold, but right now I'd say it's about 55. Dropping cold again though.
Okay. Right. It's been a little ordeal for the middle of the country. I know, as that Arctic blast is
hmm
chilling everybody out.
It was pretty warm
We're here in the
winter. Pretty warm winter besides that until this last one though. So we've been pretty fortunate there.
okay. And how is the off season treating you? I mean, we're pretty happy about the news of you joining Team OTB, but how you been? How you been keeping busy?
Keeping busy, trying to spend as much, family time, time with my old lady, stuff like that I don't get as much because I was gone a lot last year. Kind of first time I was really away from home a lot. I didn't get to do much there, especially during the summer. I think it was like 3.5, almost 4 months I didn't come home, and then previous to the I think it was like Champions Cup before that through the Texas swing. I was not home during that swing, so I was only home for like a month and a half there for like 6 months. So trying to spend as much time, especially with it starting like about a month early than normal or ish.
Mm-hmm.
So just trying to get all that time in, and you know, just kind of I like to kind of chill and almost give myself cabin fever a little bit in the off season to kind of build the fire. I don't like to overplay, try to burn myself. I was kind of a little burnt out towards the end of last year, honestly. Just a lot was
Mm-hmm.
going on between my contract dealing, the tournaments. I was striving really hard. I played from D-Glow. I won't necessarily say till USGGC but from D-Glow to probably MVP, I played more than I ever had my whole life. I put in
Mm-hmm.
a lot of time.
And then at a
And
very
that
super high level too. I mean,
and that was
those
at
were some
the end
tough
of the
tournaments for
tour.
down the stretch.
And that was at the end
Yeah.
of the tour where I was kind of burnt out because I had a talk with myself personally. I said, Matt, you're homesick, thriving to go home, but the only way to make this work is to stay busy. Go out there because if you just sit in an Airbnb and hotel room and dwell on it, it's just gonna, intensify the what's going on. So I tried to stay busy. That's why I played Rochester, putted more than I ever have. I've stayed busy. I played a lot of golf, even though I didn't want to most of the time because I was beat up because it was the end of the tour. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I needed that time off.
Yeah, and again, we're going on year 20. You're 21 of that of pro level play, and it's just the years add up. I know,
Doesn't
my
feel
man.
like it. Doesn't feel like it. Feels more like
I,
15.
yeah, in terms of the real grinding part of it.
It has, but yeah, I haven't had a car in like 3 weeks, so like I guess it was right before the new year. Just getting on the interstate I-65, ran over a dang old Christmas tree, went right under it about 65 miles an hour. Couldn't dodge it. Couldn't dodge it. So car's been in
That's
the shop since. So I've been back to like 2013 Matty, where I didn't have a car. It's been a while, so getting that sense of no car for a little bit. First time in a while, hate it, but it's kind of like I said, feeling the fire because honestly, I've been home so much. I really didn't have the OTB and Vegas on my schedule, but I guess a little cabin fever makes you want to do a lot more whenever it's time. So I signed up for those two bad boys, so I'll be at those
well,
events. So
that'll be exciting. Of course, we'll be happy to have you back
can't
here in Stockton.
can't wait, can't wait. I'll be driving out there too, so I'm it'll be. I said it's going to be the last time I ever drive home from California. We'll see if that'll be true.
A full on road trip. Because last time you flew out and then had the rental.
Flew out, and then professional gypsy style, had Miles Harding dad pick me up, drop me off. Got Miles dropped me off at the uh Benihana's, San Francisco. Got picked up by Boston Dave, never met him in my life. Then walked to Golden Gate, got Corey Merle to pick me up, drive me to Stockton, and that's how I ended up at OTP Open. So yeah,
God, like so many times it
and
takes
that's
the it
why
takes the
a lot of
village.
people say, like, why don't you go to the West Coast much? And it's more of that reason. I feel like a professional gypsy every time I go to the West Coast. So you know,
Yeah, it's tough when so much just travel is involved with kind of the lack of tournaments to connect them, and it comes down to the nature of the big old country we live in
hmm
that our West Coast dates do feel a little bit kind of detached from the rest of the country, but we'll still do our best to make it worth
yeah,
everyone's time. And then
so
back in Vegas, a little bit maybe a better time of year in Vegas, perhaps maybe a little warm, but man, it can always be frigid there. I know a couple of years ago it was unpleasant,
it's kind of crazy
but
because like back in the day, that tournament was never cold. It was like I
mm,
think it was always like just a week after that, what it is now. But that tournament was never cold. And then about like I guess it was like 5 years ago, they just said, "Watch this," and every year now it's been cold. It's kind of weird.
hold my hot chocolate.
Yeah,
You're going to be heading down to Florida for some of the All Stars.
I am. I am excited. I'm excited. Every year I go to AllStars, I always take it genuinely that might be my last time doing AllStars. So I always am very excited when I go down there. Maybe more excited than any other player, honestly, when I go there. I like me some AllStars.
And have you been able to play Paul's course?
I played Throw Down the Mountain style, not the new. I don't think. I think they've still like getting on the ending of the work on it, so I don't think it's
Just
officially been
finalizing it, yeah.
getting close. It's getting close though.
But Throwdown's not new for you.
No, I played Throw Down. I got a Throw Down on the Mountain Championship back in the day, 2013. But and then I got second last time I played the old Paul himself, so that feels like winning sometimes. So
Hmm.
those are I like it down there.
So back again with Westside Discs this coming up,
Yes.
and yeah, it's been a good partnership so far.
Love it. Love the whole. I guess the whole trilogy, House of Disc and West Side. It's just been really open. They're the ones that showed me the most loyalty and want, and
Mm-hmm.
just love the direction we're going. I think our discs are underrated. I love our stamps. I mean, truly, honestly, true story. I remember Greg was sponsored by Westside. Through first time I ever heard of him, he was staying at my house 10, 11 years ago. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember seeing the Boatman, and I was like, that's kind of like not the coolest names. But then whenever they came out with not the coolest names, but it was like the Boatman for real, like I was like, but then whenever everybody's come out with the new disc, they've been kind of lame. So now I think the West Side discs are actually really really cool. Even in time, they've come out to be some of
have
the
you
coolest discs there is, honestly.
have you
But at
dove into
first
the
I was kind of
legend?
like, what the hell is a boatman? Like truly, because that was one of the first discs I saw. So I was like, but they're truly
And
cool.
now and now you're throwing Sampo and Sampo.
Sampo and Pines and freaking yeah, got a whole thing.
Have you do they require you to do any reading of the epic poem that those stamps are based on? Is that part of the signing process with Westside?
I just found out about this book through my manager Jesse Arzola. That there is a book. Kind of like I watch a lot of Pat McAfee, so I don't want to say nothing that. So I wouldn't want to say or call it what, but I think it's like a Vikingist Bible type of thing, or
Yeah,
something. I
again,
don't
it's
really
it's
know the
it's
theory, but
it's like it's like an epic poem that comes, it's explaining like all this old history of the Finnish lore, I guess.
but all the
And
names have to from West Side come from that book. So I'm not
correct.
the biggest reader, honestly. I'm not a reader at all, really. And
Well,
but
maybe we can find the audiobook and throw
that
that in the old on the old listener while you're cruising across the country.
but definitely because to have the new names of Westside Disc, I have to read the book because I don't know a name for the future disc, so I'll have to get on it so soon.
Had the pleasure of running into old Barsby. He was in San Francisco. He's been hanging out in California a
Heck
little
yeah.
bit here, visiting friends and family. He played the tag round there at Golden Gate, and he he hit a putt. We were lucky enough to witness, and he said, "Oh man, Matty, I would have loved that putt."
Heck yeah, that's my boy, man.
Well, just he's had all the touch. Let's talk about Greg and like when was the first time that you all went on tour together?
First time we went on tour, I guess was 2007. We went, both kind of didn't have a car. We were like doing trains because back then we were like, not balling.
Hmm.
And you could sign up
Like an
the week of the
Amtrak
event.
pass.
Yeah, because it
Okay.
was cheaper to do that last minute than fly last minute because the plane ticket.
Okay.
So if we both played good at the event before, we kind of like, all right, we'd go to the Amtrak and go because we didn't want to go home. So we did that for about 2 months until we finally just got tired of the train life because some of it was taking 2 or 3 days to get there. I know we took some 30-hour
Hmm.
trips for sure, and they were kind of bad on our body. But then after that, we ended up touring for kind of like the next 5 years, I believe, until like 2013 ish was kind of
Hmm.
about. And we started in Miami, met there at Junior Worlds, super cool.
Hmm.
And then we didn't see each other, kind of talked on the phone a couple times, but we ran into each other at 2005 Worlds. But we were still like under 18, so none of the disc golfers wanted to hang out with us. We were kids, so we ended up in the laundry room. True story. No, because literally nobody wanted to hang out with us there playing cards and all. They're like, we don't want them kids in our room. True story. So we kind of
Hmm.
just hung out in the laundry room, talking, bullshitting. And then after that, those little talks right there, and actually that was the one I got second place. So that kind of like, he was like, man, you're killing it, man. Like, so then that kind of started it. And then every night we kind of ended up there talking, bullshitting. And then we ended up keeping in touch. But then Players Cup was the next time we hung out, 2006. It's kind of a cool story. I picked him up from New Orleans. Ain't seen him since that Worlds. And when he was getting out to get his luggage, he hurt his elbow muscle. He didn't even think he was going to play. We went down to Florida.
Hmm.
People were kind of ragging on me about like I don't know. It was just like they're like it was like I think that was when Greg Barsby became Greg Barsby. But he did.
Hmm.
He wasn't even going to play the tournament. His arm was hurt, and he literally got second place. I think it was his. He got like $6,000, and it was like a life changer for him. Got him on the boom,
Hmm.
and then after that, that's when 2007 we started traveling. So we've come some crazy long way, long voyage.
And again, you guys get again around the same age, and then started young with disc golf. And so by the time y'all met at Junior Worlds, you'd already had some seasoning in the disc golf sense, and so
Little
probably
bit,
pretty similar, kind of parallel upbringings almost.
little bit, and we kind of heard about each other because there wasn't no internet back then. But so like
You can
like
know
there
each
was the
other.
West Coast swing. So like I think it was my buddy Worm and Eric Tracy went. They all kind of came to. I think they were at the tournament. Greg and Miles at the Lake Tahoe program, and they came back and they're like they weren't like signed up for Worlds until the last minute either. So I didn't see them on the list, and my buddies were like, "Oh, they're coming. You better believe it. Like they're coming." And I was like, "Oh
Hmm.
god, these guys sound like some characters," because they were, talking about them. So when we met, it was super cool. We kind of heard about each other through our boys. So it was super
Hmm.
cool. And we came instantly close. Me, him, and Miles Harding, and Double G was at that Worlds. It was us four, which we still believe
That's
is
no
the
that's
we
oh
call it
05 Worlds or the junior
the Junior
or the yeah
Worlds.
the 05 Worlds, the
It,
Junior Worlds in '03.
it was interesting though. The last semifinals we played short tees, but going into that
Hmm.
round, Miles, who won juniors, was winning the advance pool. Greg was in second. I think I was in fifth, and Double G would have been in seventh in the advance pool going into that last round. So we were
Wow.
we were gamers when we were little kids too.
Yeah. Well, we know this is true. Do you remember the first tournament that you traveled to? Like just in general, like the first time you like left to go play a tournament.
My first one, my dad ran tournaments, so I went to Greenwood Classic in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They didn't have juniors back then, so I played AMs and got last place. Played with a guy named Gumbo and all that the last round because I suck, so I'm playing with all the low AMs that, you know, the beer drinkers and all that. But it was a bad storm that day, and my dad was surprised that I was ever wanting to play again because I was scared. It was lightning popping. We played through it. First tournament, I was like freaking kind of wimpy, but I made it through it. My dad was impressed that I made it through it and didn't complain. About 3 months later, I went to another tournament, I think in Florence, Alabama, Alabama
Hmm.
States, and pretty much traveled almost every tournament when I was a kid, in a way, because my dad ran the event, especially in Mississippi. He ran a bunch, so we used to go there pretty
Hmm.
frequently, and once a month, to Baton Rouge every month. It's one Baton Rouge tournament for sure.
And then we were talking a little bit earlier about City of Mobile championships. Those are coming up soon,
Hmm.
and you'll be back at that tournament, right?
For sure. I always get
Any
nervous
fun
at them
memories?
hometown tournaments. They have a lot of pride involved, so I get excited and nervous more than I'm a senior tournament when it's local, believe it or not.
Hmm.
So I'm excited
So it
about it.
must have been a so yeah, and you've taken down that one.
Oh, a bunch, probably 10. But I've also gotten second probably 12 times too, almost every other year. So it's kind of was my nemesis tournament until about 5 years ago. I've kind of won like I think maybe three or four of the last some of them. So I kind of got that
Mhm.
late rally, but that was kind of a nemesis tournament for me for a long time.
And it's probably just again those nerves, and like you said, it's the added pressure performing in front of the hometown crowd.
And there's a lot of studs in Mobile, and they're really good at Mobile. That's why a lot of people don't come here, honestly, because they know it's tough money. True story.
Hmm.
It's not me just talking out my booty. Promise.
Hmm. Alabama golf, legit. Yeah, I'm excited to hopefully pass through at some point this year. Probably won't make it there for the championships, but excited always to learn about kind of historic disc golf locations, right? Because there's all these important little nodes, and I know your dad had a lot to do with building up the disc golf in your area and all over the state.
Hmm. Definitely in Mississippi, and I would say more Mississippi for sure. But he definitely got the
Hmm.
tournament ball, like where the tournament started getting a lot more players in Mobile for sure. He always pretty much filled out almost every tournament he ran back then, which was impressive
Hmm.
because there was no internet. It was all flyers back then,
Hmm.
He was be spreading
The
them.
word
He'd
of
be
mouth.
sending them in boxes with people whenever he'd do his orders. He was a flyer freak. He'd do whatever he could to do it. But
That's great. Let's again a flashback to that '05 Worlds. The infamous Alex Rodriguez jersey makes its appearance there. Uh, Give us the background. How when did it come into the rotation, and what was the decision to pop that baby on?
uh, decision was I was watching a lot of Yankees for about that 8 years because they always were on TV. My dad was like a Yankees old timer fan, even though. So I'd always watch their games, and we went shopping. Me because Eric Tracy and Worm, Mike Young, my boys who I was traveling with. Eric was like, "Look, you got to free your mind. Let's go to the mall." And this was in Allentown, so we went to the mall. Of course, I was a sports junkie freak, like I still am. So we went to the sports store. I was like, I want to go to the sports store. We went to the sports store. I don't remember, but they had buy one get one half off. So the story was, I bought this Michael Jordan North Carolina jersey, and they were like, "Well, you get one half off in the Alex Rodriguez jersey because it's like $70." So I got it for like 35 half off. So that was part of the deal. So then I didn't have a sponsor then, so I was just kind of like, I'm gonna wear that jersey tomorrow. Just because. And I didn't. I was kind of nervous at the beginning because I went like one over the first four holes. I was like, shit, this jersey's backfiring. But then I ended up making a super late rally to tie Steve Rico and get in the playoff and make it through him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty interesting. And then PDJ guy came up to me right before the round and told me to take it off. And Ken Climo looked up. He said, "Don't let him take it off. He's done it. He's already made it this far. Well, might as well let him wear it." So I remember he kind of gave me the nod to them back off a little bit, so it was cool.
Oh, you got the champ love.
A little
You
bit there,
said
a
make
little
it
bit
so.
there. I remember him right there, kind of, because they came, kind of pedaled with me for a second. I
Hmm.
actually held my
They
ground.
they always want.
I kind of held my ground about it too. I think he was proud because I was kind of not that kind of kid either. So you know,
Hmm. Just building up that confidence, building up the legend, and yeah, I'm sure A Rod would have been happy with your performance there.
if I could do it all over again, I wish it was a Mickey Mantle though. But but it is what it
Sure.
is.
I don't know if they have those at the Allentown Mall
Not for
all the time.
$35 either.
So I'm making a connection here because I'm dumb, but so we're talking about Naka Mixon now, and
Naka Mixon.
you know who designed Naka Mixon.
Trick question. Uh,
Oh,
no.
okay. So this is fun. Steve Bro of OTB East, his father-in-law, one and only course he's designed, Naka Mixon.
All right, I know
And
the
it's
father-in-law. All right, all right, all right, all right.
Beef,
I stayed at the
Mr.
house. I
Fred,
know the
Mr. Beef,
father-in-law with in the back.
Mr. Beef Fred,
Yeah, with the little shop in the back, right?
the tanning shop. Yep.
Yup, yup, yup.
All right,
Cool, man.
now you got to give me a Steve. Now you got to give me a Steve Bro story.
Steve Bro, I
If you're
just see
staying at
him
the
all
house,
over the place.
yeah,
You know,
we got to keep it rated R. Just keep it rated R. We can't go quite NC-17.
he
Or
just
we'll go
be he
truly
just be coming
viral.
up with that LSU bullshit because he's a bro, Breaux. So he has got that Louisiana blood in him. So he always comes up with that LSU bullshit. But I always have a good time with Steve, man. He's cool. Man. We've always just kind of see the same thought, same way. I like him. He's cool, straight to the point. I like
Yep,
me some Steve. I've stayed in his house in downtown Quakertown. Love it.
that's right.
You know,
Shout out to
He's the
Steve.
reason I
Shout out
want a
to OTB
sofa on
East.
my front porch because he has this couch on his front porch, and I just loved it. So that's ever since I've sat that on that couch in downtown Quakertown. I want a couch on my porch one day.
It's a great sitting porch for
I like
sure.
it
One of
with
the
the
better
proper,
ones.
but
Elevation.
it's on my bucket list.
You got to get. We'll get that. You'll get that sorted out soon enough.
And
I
see,
think
bro,
you're.
is part of the reason this OTB conversation started. Truly, truly, in a real.
Yep.
So, Steve, bro,
Yep.
look how far we come
That's
now.
right. Look at this. It's all just full circle, just like the
It is.
disc
It is. I can't
from
believe Steve
'05 to 20
Bro's
to
father-in-law
2024.
or design a course that badass. I'm kind of impressed, honestly, because you know, that course was
And then he just dropped the mic. He's like, "Oh, cool. I
yeah,
designed the world championship course that
it
people
was
liked."
badass too. It had a lot of rocks in the fairways. Everybody was a bunch of wimps about it too, about their lies. I ain't gonna name pros, but because I ain't gonna be like that. But there was a bunch of complaining wimps about the slippery rocks. Nobody had a sidearm back then though, and I was one of the only ones on tour. So me and Doss, we had a big
Hmm.
advantage on that weekend because of the slippery rocks with the sidearm. I think too was a big play too, because back then none of the
Hmm.
pros on tour threw sidearm, none of them. So
And so, like with footing, it's difficult and everything. Yeah,
it
for
was
walk
big.
up space, if you can just kind of be accurate with your
Yeah, kind of
sidearm,
stand
that's
there and whip
that's
it.
major.
It was clutch.
Yeah. Yeah, luckily I've been able to play 9 at Naka Mixon. It's kind of under a redesign. They had a
Mm.
little bit of a bore problem, I believe,
A board?
and it's coming back strong and really beautiful track. So if you're in Pennsylvania, make sure you check out that historic course. All right, so you mentioned LSU football. Let's talk about a little bit of the Crimson Tide. Did you shed a tear for your caddy for all these years as he moved on? Where are we at on Saban in 2024?
Well, the other day I was messaging Danny the day before, and he sent me a message with Saban question mark. I already knew I was instantly. My heart dropped. Went on the internet. It was like 2 minutes, and I was like, man, I don't believe it. Kind of was like, wishy washy about it. But then about 10 minutes later, it seemed real. Took it well. I was sad, but I
So
also
you weren't expecting it to be the last
I
season.
don't think nobody was, especially after the end of the game. I would have never assumed that loss was going to be like I never was like, oh, that's going to be Saban's last game, whatever. And that was a hell of a game, hell of a game, and Took it well
for
though,
sure.
because I love Coach, man, so much that I know he deserves his time off, man. He bought a house in Jupiter, Florida, down the street from Tiger on Jupiter Island. I want him to be happy, unless he's a hard worker. He deserves his time off. So new episode though, new episode. A lot of transfer portal. I like the new coach a lot. Seems well spoken. I listened to his press conference. I like that he's a family man. All that seems very very good guy. But we'll see. It's going to be obviously tough shoes to fill. I mean, it's not even fair, honestly. But we'll see what he can do. Give him the best chance, and I'm a fan of this new coach already for sure.
Hmm.
Most I can be, and
That's
love
good.
Saban, and he ain't
And
going.
again,
Saban's still part of the program. He said he'll still have some background, so he ain't going away from the
I was
program.
gonna say he still has time. He still has time to follow you around this year. I hope. Yeah.
I hope so, man. I'd be a man. Well, we'll keep dreaming. Keep dreaming. But we'll see.
Well, we need to make sure we get him an invite. We'll tell Sean Jack to shoot one over so he can make it to the AllStars there in Florida. It's not too long of a trip.
I think we'll be luckier to catch them if we go on a boat to Jupiter Island. Catch them. I think that sounds. But
You're
just
probably
throwing
you're
something
probably
out
you're
there.
probably
Just
right
throwing that
there.
sounds pretty cool to me too. I want to check out some Jupiter Island, Palm Springs too. On a boat sounds cool to me.
Heck yeah. Uh, it's so again, college football. You've always been a big fan. Did you have any football experience growing up? Did you strap it on?
Hell no. I played flag football in the yard. Man, I grew up in the deep south, man. I knew better, man. Everybody was big down here, man, and I knew better, so I never played football, man.
The guys were trying to guess what position you played, and I was like, I don't know if he was a
Oh
football
man, I was a
player or not.
receiver. That's all I did. Run straight, receiver out, just typical flag football
Go
dude.
deep.
Yeah, go deep. Try to burn
What were
somebody.
your?
I
Did
didn't
you
even
have?
run routes. I just try to run myself open. Sloppy,
Did you
sloppy
have any
flag
other
football player.
sports?
This was pre-Saban though, so I didn't know about X's and O's. I just run myself open. So
He just
that's
had
all,
speed. That's all he knew.
barely.
Well,
But I
maybe
was more
shifty
of
or something.
a 3-point shooter in the yard. Definitely, they used to call me
Mhm.
Peja in high school. So all I did was
Uh-oh, shout out.
all I did was shoot threes, play defense, and pass it to the best player of the team. That way, I knew I could get the ball back every now and then, or whoever was on the floor. That was
So
my game.
you say basketball was your top sport outside of disc golf as a youngster?
Baseball, but then I got hit a couple times real hard. And got super scared of the ball. I ain't gonna lie, and then quit playing ball because the practice sucked. Started getting into golf with my dad, traveling to tournaments, which involved baseball tournaments. Got involved because they're a weekend thing. So truly chose disc golf
Mhm.
over baseball, which was a great decision. Best decision ever made, honestly. And then even when I played disc golf, I kind of gave up the ball from after that pretty much, and then started just shooting backyard, neighborhood,
Mhm.
sandlot type basketball player. Run the streets with my
Mhm.
dad, not knowing why he was selling disc on her net. Come back, never got in trouble. So I always got to go.
Mhm.
So it was good times. I even told my
Nice.
girlfriend this morning, my next door neighbor, little Derek, half the reason I'm the man I am today, because he put me through it, man. He was a year older than me, so in the backyard, he put shout out to little Derek.
Didn't take it easy on you. He,
No, he always
you know,
whooped me.
it's
He always whooped
it's
me.
the tough love. It's the tough love. It's the tough love that makes us stronger, right?
And don't without struggle, there's no process. It's one of my favorite quotes.
Nice. So what else is cooking? We got anything exciting coming down on the releases this year with Westside?
I do. I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything about it yet, though.
Uh-oh. Yeah, we
But
better be careful.
I'll look into it though, and if I get approval, we'll have a show again, and we'll talk about that. We'll make that a promise.
We'll
How
just
about that?
we'll be checking in. I'll see you for the Texas swing. I'll be hanging out with the GK crew again. So
But that sounds
we'll
about
be
right
out there.
timing too. So that sounds about perfect. So we'll call that a deal.
That's
But
right.
yeah, there's something in the works. We'll call
And
that. We'll say there's something in the works. There's something in the works. Keep y'all surprised though. I don't want to give away no secrets, but Westside making. And I can say this: expect a lot of pines this year. The hashtag pine is trending. telling y'all, it's the most underrated mid range on the market. I ain't just saying it because I'm saying it because I'm Westside, but I mean it. So check out the Pine.
I
Check
could
out
use
Matty
a.
O'Pine's this year.
I
So
could use one of those. I think Matty
I think
O'Pine.
so, man.
A
Telling
little
you.
bit straight, a little bit stable at the end.
It is, and it handles the wind well, which I like because some mid ranges they fly good straight, but you get a 3 mile an hour headwind, and so it fights it pretty well, and that's the main reason I like it. Honestly, is because how good it fights the wind, still can hold the straight line. I dig it.
So, besides that release, besides getting out to OTB Open this year, what other tournaments are you excited to hit in 2024?
Excited. Let's see. I'm definitely excited about the Florida. I'm not excited about Texas because it's going to be cold. I already bought like some $80 Under Armour underpants, not even pants, because
Hmm.
little Saban check mark. Be prepared for this year. And
New
gonna
course
be a
in
tough.
for Waco this year. They're adding the country club there.
No, I heard some mixed reviews on it. I'm kind of excited though. That course, I kind of like a little diversity from the regular course. I feel like everybody's gotten so good at the Beast that it just kind of needed a
Hmm.
something kind of thing.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm not really excited about the timing of the Texas. Maybe I'm not really excited about most of the schedule up until after DDO. Honestly, I think it's going to be cold. I think the weather's going to be
Hmm.
nasty. Just Medio predictions here, and I think I don't know. We'll see.
This, this is from the Matteo Farmer's Almanac. So
It's
you know,
Mastradamus here, but I'm.
Metrodome.
But yeah, I think that. So that's just my opinion. But I'm excited. But I'm definitely
Any?
excited about the 2 weeks in Minnesota for some reason. I don't know, not for some
Yep.
reason, but I really am because I want to spend some more time at the reserve. I never really get to spend much time out there besides playing. And then they have the
Hmm.
Minnesota Majestic back to back, which I like a lot. So that'll be cool. And then of course Europe,
Yeah.
the three Europe. Europe was like my first time last year, so I really was just kind of scared, nervous the whole time. So going the
Mhm.
second time and knowing how it works, how it rolls, and what it's about. It's kind of cool. Estonia, I'm all about. It sounds cool to finally go to a country that the dollar's worth more because I've been going to all them rich countries, man. They're cool, but they're not. I want to go to one that actually my dollar works a little better for my favor. That sounds super cool. And I heard Estonia is like that, so I'm down with that. Truly,
Yeah, it was
sounds
cool to
cool.
see Estonia pop up on the schedule there. We got a couple stops in Sweden. You got a Norway stop, Finnish stop. I mean, the European Pro Tour is certainly rounding into form.
I like it, man. It's so cool over there. I love their commentary. I like the whole different scenery of everything and how they do it. Super cool, and it's cool to see it grow, man. It's cool to see it grow.
What any food items that you're looking forward to that they have over in Europe that you kind of got a taste for last year that you're hankering for again?
Man, Europe was kind of rough last year. I had like a temporary tooth last year, and they have like a bunch of hard bread and stuff. But I also am
Oh
like a
no.
mayonnaise bleep hater, dude. I hate mayonnaise more than almost anybody on the planet. And they put
Okay.
mayonnaise on everything. Barsby warned me too. He said, Matt, because he knows I hate mayonnaise. He said, Matt, just warning you when you go over there, they put mayonnaise on everything. Like, you're not just getting it. He's like, nah, for real. And it's true. And then, two, they don't understand me because I say no mayonnaise, and they're like, huh? So I can't. And then me and Ricky, he was like, oh, just get you a kebab, man. I'm like, hey, can I get no mayonnaise on that? And they're like, huh? I'm like, Ricky, I'm just gonna go get me a pizza. I'll see y'all later. So I ate a lot of pizza and I ate a lot of Thai.
Okay.
I love the Thai. I found this Thai restaurant somewhere in Tempere, and I loved it. I was all about it. So I ate a shit ton of Thai.
Heck yeah. We love a good tie.
But I wish I would have been more like explorational. But I hate mayonnaise, so like, and I didn't have a car or nothing. So when I was eating, I was kind of like, sometimes having ride. It was the only time I was out, so I was like, let me just make sure I at least get something that I eat, not just end up with this mayonnaise shit.
Just pepperoni pizza, no mayonnaise. Hold the
Yeah,
mayonnaise.
they like their jalapeno peppers over there on their pizza. I remember I can dig that though. It was good.
A little bit of heat's okay.
Mm.
You can handle that.
It's about crawfish season too. It's
Now,
starting like right now. I can't wait.
okay,
Yeah.
those are gonna start coming in.
Yeah, they said it was a bad season, so they're probably gonna be expensive as a mofo. It's just what I heard on the internet though.
Mm, it does happen.
It does
So going back to what's the travel arrangements for Europe this year? Are you gonna be buddying up with someone, or just kind of you gonna be able to take your girl? What's the plan?
happen. My old lady and me are going to Rocket City Blast. I used to play Tennessee State the next weekend, but we had so much fun in the Smoky Mountains I didn't play, and I don't even want to put it on my list because I plan on that being a week. But she's going to come with me to Vegas. But no Europe. It's just a lot for Europe because of the traveling situation and getting free tickets and stuff. But I'm trying to find
Mhm.
somebody. I'm gonna have to ask some people on the tour, man. You want to hang out? At least
All right, we'll see if I'm trying to finagle an RV from up in Sweden for me and Greg. So I'm sure we could have enough room for Matty to hop in there too.
Man, that sounds like a good. We can do a little behind the scenes action on that. Sounds like a good little something we can stir up there. I'm 100% in though.
We're gonna manifest that into existence.
Sounds. I can already see it, so I like it.
So, all right, we'll just do one random question before we finish up. Are you more of a TV show guy or more of a movie guy?
I guess depends. I guess I'm about a 50-50. Uh I've been just knocking out some series. I ain't really done much on the off season, so I've been pretty knocked out everything on Netflix. But right now
So
I'm just
let's my question. My question is, growing up, what's the number one Matty TV show? What's your favorite movie? Let's go like pre-age like 12.
all right. I was definitely a cartoon freak. I watched nothing but ESPN, Cartoon Network, and Nickelodeon. That was it. No ends, ifs, or buts. So I was more like
Sports and
like
cartoons.
Rocket Power and all that kind of stuff, and that time frame was kind of like my thing. Doug, all those Rugrat, all that stuff. Freaking
Hmm.
Dexter's Laboratory, and all that stuff. And then movies. Me and my little brother, I liked Sandlot, Angels in the Outfield, and then my
Hmm.
favorite movie was Hardball, man. I cried every time. I still cry when G Baby died. Every time. Every time.
Hmm.
I'd say those.
You still got a baseball player in there somewhere. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like to me.
Also, Chipper Jones was my hero. I think that was what ended my baseball life. Was whenever Chipper Jones they had that bullshit call. They threw the trash on the field. I said I'm over baseball, and that's. But I was a big
If you're gonna,
baseball.
if you
I was
go
big in
Braves, you're
baseball,
watching the
man.
Braves a lot.
Braves because I watched probably
Yeah.
150 games a year with my old man, and if we were in the mountains
Yep.
on vacation, we were listening to it on AM radio. We'd bring a little. We were Braves fanatics, man. That was the good old days, though. That was the prime time with all the good pitchers and Chipper, Andrew Jones. That was good
I was
time.
the same way. I lived in Virginia, but I was a Braves fan because you could watch them. And then I had, my aunt lived in Atlanta, so we were like, oh, I guess I kind of like the Braves. And then it was, the minor league team was in Virginia, and there was just that little bit of connection. And then the teams, Glavin, Smoltz, Maddox was my guy,
I love
and then you
Maddox.
had
That Anheuser fastball. That's why the Anheuser fastball. Oh, that was so dope.
that's great. All right, Matty. Well, I appreciate you taking some time out for us, and just giving the people a little peek behind the curtain here. We're excited for 2024. It was a great 2023, and only better things are coming. Go ahead and give some shout outs. Who do you want to give some love to here before we sign off?
Man, I gotta get a shout out to House of Disc and Westside for giving me the chance and keep believing in me and showing the support for me. And I can tell how much they wanted me, and gotta do that. And I've never had really too many sponsors, so now having OTB, only the best and truly unique on my side is pretty awesome. So, want to give them a shout out. Try not to let y'all down. Do my best. Also, look out for some OTB ran Matty tournaments in the deep south coming, and some exciting, really big ones for next year. But some this year too, though. But and also I want to give a shout out to Dr. Christy Disc and my old lady for getting me hooked up on this because I would have not been able to do it. Showing me support, being there for me, and all my fans, the Mattley crew.
Heck yeah. All right, my friend. Well, it was good talking to you. We'll see you out on the road this year. Should be a good time. And best of luck with everything.
Roll Tide, baby. Good to see you, Greg.